The silence in your new apartment is deafening, isn't it? It's a beige box that smells like other people's failures. You're staring at a bank statement that looks like a casualty report from a war you didn't know you were fighting. You're 45 years old, maybe 50, and you have less net worth than you did when you were 22. She took the house. She took the retirement accounts. And through the mechanism of alimony and child support, she has colonized your future earnings. She took the retirement accounts. And you've come out the other side bloodied, broke. You just went through the wood chipper of the modern divorce system. You did everything right. You followed the rules, and utterly alone. You were the provider, the stable husband. You sacrificed your 20 seconds and 30 seconds building a life for a family that no longer exists. And this is your reward: a studio apartment and a court order mandating your financial servitude. You're paralyzed by anger and suffocated by fear. You think your life is over. You think you're too old to start again. You're drowning in the injustice of it all. Stop. You are clinging to a fantasy of fairness that never existed. You are mourning a life that was built on a foundational lie, the lie that if you sacrifice yourself for others, they will respect you for it. The system is not broken. It is functioning exactly as designed. It is designed to extract resources from productive men and redistribute them. You were the target, and the operation was successful. I have counseled hundreds of men who have been financially and psychologically annihilated by divorce. Men who were contemplating eating a bullet because they couldn't see a path forward. Today, I am not going to give you platitudes about grief or healing. I am going to give you a battle plan. I'm going to tell you the brutal truth about your situation and the agonizing work required to rebuild when you are past your prime and the world has written you off. This is not about finding happiness. This is about survival. You are currently paralyzed by 3 toxic delusions. If you do not purge these from your system immediately, you will never recover. Delusion 1, the search for justice. You are obsessed with the unfairness of it all. You rant about the divorce courts, the bias against fathers, the ridiculousness of the financial settlement. You keep saying, "This isn't right." Stop. Stop whining. You are seeking justice from a system designed to process you, not vindicate you. The family court is not a place of morality. It is a bureaucratic mechanism for the redistribution of male resources. Your obsession with justice is a waste of energy. It keeps you anchored to the past and trapped in a state of victimhood. The only justice you will ever get is the life you build moving forward. Delusion 2, the ghost of the good husband. You are clinging to your old identity. You still see yourself as the responsible family man, the guy who sacrificed everything. You need to understand this. That man is dead. She killed him, and the state buried him. You are suffering from acute identity death. The role you played, the script you followed, has been canceled. When you try to operate in the world using that old identity, you will fail. You are starting from less than 0. Accept it. Mourn it for exactly 5 minutes, and then move on. Delusion 3, the search for a replacement. This is the most dangerous delusion. You are lonely. You are hurt. You crave comfort and validation. This is the most dangerous delusion. This is a catastrophic mistake. At Courant Plus, divorced. This is a catastrophic mistake. You think the solution to your pain is to find a good woman to replace the one who destroyed you. You are vulnerable. You are a prime target for predators. If you seek a relationship now, you are guaranteeing a second annihilation. You are desperate. It tells you to take it slow and grieve. Conventional advice tells you to get back out there. You do not have time for navel-gazing or desperate dating. This is catastrophic advice for a man in his 40 seconds. Decisive action. You need to operate with an urgency you have never felt before. You need immediate. Rebuilding requires a cold. You are not just dealing with emotional trauma. You are dealing with objective realities about the world and your place in it. Brutal Truth 1. You are a shipwreck survivor, not a retiree. The first reality you must confront is your financial devastation. Most men treat the aftermath of divorce like a bad investment. They think they can just adjust their budget and carry on. This is a fatal misunderstanding. You have not experienced a downturn. You have experienced a catastrophe. Think of yourself as a shipwreck survivor. You were sailing on the S. S is marriage. It hit an iceberg. It sank. You managed to swim to a deserted island. You have nothing but the clothes on your back. If you sit on the beach waiting for a rescue ship, a new job, a lucky break, a sympathetic girlfriend, you will die. You must immediately adopt a survival mindset. This means radical minimalism. Cut your expenses to the bone. Your beige apartment is not a home. It is a base of operations. You need food, shelter, and the tools to rebuild. Everything else is a luxury you cannot afford. I had a client, a former executive. He lost millions in the divorce, but he kept trying to maintain his old lifestyle. He kept the luxury car lease. He kept eating at expensive restaurants. He was hemorrhaging cash, trying to maintain a facade of success. He was bankrupt within 2 years. He refused to accept his new reality. Your ego will fight this. Your ego wants comfort, but your ego is what got you into this mess. Your financial survival depends on your ability to live like a monk while you rebuild your earning capacity. Brutal Truth 2. The economics of ruin, the sunk cost marriage. You need to understand the financial mechanics of what just happened to you. You were not in a partnership. You were in an investment scheme where you assumed all the risk and she reaped all the rewards. Let's analyze your marriage through the lens of the sunk cost fallacy. You invested your youth, your energy, your ambition, and your resources into a single asset, your marriage. You believed this asset would provide long-term returns of loyalty and stability, but the modern marriage contract is structured to incentivize dissolution. When the relationship depreciated, when her attraction faded, or when she decided she wanted a different life, she had the legal right to liquidate the asset and extract 50% or more of its value, regardless of her contribution. But the modern marriage contract is structured to incentivize dissolution. When the relationship depreciated, when her attraction faded, you kept pouring resources into a failing investment because you were afraid to admit the loss. The extraction continues. Alimony is not support. Post-divorce, it is punishment. If you are 45, you have maybe 20 years of peak earning potential left, and a significant portion of that potential is already claimed. This means you cannot afford complacency. You must operate with ruthless financial discipline. Brutal Truth 3. The death of the provider identity and the necessity of self-interest. For your entire adult life, you have defined your value by what you could provide for others. You were the beast of burden. You sacrificed your own needs, your own desires, your own health, for the sake of the family unit. And where did it get you? Betrayed, bankrupted, and alone. The idea that if you provide and protect, you will be rewarded with loyalty is a lie. Hypergamy ensures that the moment your utility declines, or a better option appears, you will be discarded. You must abandon the provider identity. It is a psychological trap that keeps you enslaved. You need to develop a ruthless sense of enlightened self-interest. From this moment forward, every decision you make must be filtered through one question. Does this serve my long-term mission of rebuilding? This is difficult for men who have internalized the archetype of the sacrificial lamb. You have been trained to believe that self-interest is selfish. This is a manipulation tactic used to exploit your labor. Look at your ex-wife. She acted in her own self-interest when she filed for divorce. She secured her financial future at your expense. You must learn to do the same. You are no longer a utility for others. You are the architect of your own life. Brutal truth. 4. The 40-plus sexual marketplace is a wasteland. You are going to feel an intense loneliness. You will crave companionship and validation. You will be tempted to jump back into the dating market immediately. This is the most dangerous impulse you will face. The sexual marketplace for a man in his 40 seconds, especially a divorced man with baggage and financial obligations, is brutal. Dating women your age 40 plus means entering a marketplace saturated with bitterness, baggage, and unrealistic expectations. Many are looking for a man to rescue them, to provide the stability they lost. They are looking for a utility. Dating younger women, 20 seconds and 30 seconds, is possible, but it requires a level of status, resources, and vitality that you likely do not possess right now. If you try to compete in this market without rebuilding your own value first, you will be humiliated. You are like a decommissioned battleship. You were once powerful, but the war you were built for marriage and family building is over. Now you are rusting in the harbor. You must be refitted. You must be modernized. If you enter the dating market broken and desperate, you will attract predators. You will attract women who see you as a vulnerability to be exploited. Let me tell you about the archetype of the repeat offender. This is the guy who gets divorced, feels lonely, and immediately rushes into a new relationship. He ignores the red flags. He craves the validation. I had a client who did this. 6 months after a devastating divorce, he met a woman 10 years younger. He poured his remaining resources into her. He moved her in. 2 years later, she divorced him, taking half of what he had managed to rebuild. He was financially wiped out. Completely. You must prioritize your reconstruction over your desire for companionship. The reality is bleak. The mindset shift you must adopt is one of radical acceptance and strategic aggression. Accept the reality of your situation completely. Do not waste a single calorie on denial or resentment. Then, aggressively attack the task of rebuilding. This requires a level of focus, discipline, and ruthlessness you have never possessed before. Here is the Rebirth Protocol. It has 3 distinct phases. This is not a suggestion. It is a survival strategy. Phase 1. The Spartan Triage and Stabilization, 0 to 6 months. The first 6 months are about stopping the bleeding and establishing a base of operations. You must become a Spartan. Financial lockdown, radical austerity. Implement the survival mindset. Cut all non-essential expenses. Create a bare-bones budget and stick to it religiously. Your goal is to stabilize your cash flow immediately. Emotional detox. The Iron Curtain. Go completely no contact with your ex-wife unless absolutely necessary for co-parenting. Block her on all social media. Do not look for information about her life. You are detoxing from a toxic addiction. Eliminate vices, alcohol, drugs, pornography, mindless entertainment. These are anesthetics. They numb the pain, but they prevent growth. These are anesthetics. Establish routine. Your life is chaotic. Impose order. Wake up at the same time every day. Create a rigid routine. Routine is the foundation of discipline. Phase 2. The Builder Reconstruction and Growth, 6 to 24 months. Once you have stabilized, you begin the process of reconstruction. You become the builder. Physical iron. A strong body is the prerequisite for a strong mind. You must lift heavy weights at least 4 days a week. Focus on compound lifts. This is about rebuilding your testosterone, your energy, and your self-respect. Get your T levels checked. Optimize your nutrition, mission, and finance. You must define a new mission. This mission must be focused on building resources and competence. Upskill. Start a side business. Create multiple streams of income. Your financial survival depends on your ability to generate value. Knowledge acquisition. Educate yourself. Understand the dynamics of the sexual marketplace, finance, and psychology. Educate yourself. Understand the dynamics of the sexual marketplace. Rebuild the tribe. Focus on male-centric connections. Build a tribe of strong, capable men who will hold you accountable, not men who will commiserate with your failure. Phase 3. The Sovereign Strategic Re-engagement. 24 months onwards. If you execute the first 2 phases with discipline, you will emerge as a different man. You will achieve sovereignty, operating from strength. You will have a strong body, a clear mind, financial stability, and a defined purpose. You will no longer be needy or desperate. The choice of solitude. Understand that marriage is not the goal. A fulfilling life is the goal. Strategic solitude is often superior to a compromised relationship. You must be comfortable in your own company. Strategic engagement. If you choose to date, you must vet ruthlessly. Recognize the red flags. Be willing to walk away immediately. You are looking for a complement to your life, not a savior. Protect your assets. Never cohabitate without a clear legal agreement. Never merge finances. Maintain your independence and your boundaries. Never marry again. This is a multi-year project. It is the hardest thing you will ever do, but it is the only path to a life worth living. The truth about rebuilding your life after 40 is that it requires you to become a completely different man. The man who sleepwalked into disaster is gone. In his place must rise a man who is awake, never marry again, and ruthlessly committed to his own survival and success. You are starting from the bottom. You are handicapped by age, by financial obligations, and by the scars of betrayal. The odds are against you, and that is exactly why you must embrace the challenge. This is your opportunity to forge a legacy of resilience. But let's be honest, most of you won't do it. You're listening to this, and you're feeling motivated. But tomorrow morning, you'll slip back into your old habits. You'll hit the snooze button. You'll skip the gym. You'll eat the comfort food. You'll spend the evening complaining about your ex-wife. Instead of building your future, you'll do this because it's easier. It's easier to be a victim than an architect. It's easier to resign yourself to mediocrity than to endure the pain of growth. It's easier to remain a broken, bitter man than to do the agonizing work of reconstruction. The inertia of failure is powerful, and most men are weak. Prove me wrong. The fire either destroys you or it forges you. If you are a man over 40 who has gone through the grinder and started the rebuild, I want to hear your story. Tell us in the comments what the hardest part was and how you broke through the inertia. Let's show the others the path forward.